Quarterback, Dan Reno of Pittsburgh.
Touchdown Miami. That is a new Miami record. 23 touchdown passes for Dan Marino.
Rebound Wayne. The Miami Heat, they've done it. They win their first championship in franchise history. A liner, Miami score in the center field. The World Series.
You want to talk sports? You logged on to the right place. The John Ech Show on 247miami.tv.
All right, the John Ech Show, 247miami.tv. We're broadcasting live from the Connecticut School Broadcasting Studios here in Doral, Florida. 247miami.tv is the website. We're also on TuneIn Radio. If you have a TuneIn Radio app on your cellular phone, you can search 247Miami. You can listen to the shows live on your phone. Today is July 27, 2015, the John Ech Show. LC's producing the show, as always. What's going on, man?
Hey, doing good here. Doing good.
Are you sure you're doing good?
I'm trying to be doing good. trying. Yeah. I'm always trying to, I'm fixing something or breaking something. I'm always doing something.
There's always something wrong.
Yeah.
But we fix it right away, don't we?
Exactly.
All right, so good. How was your weekend, man? Everything all right?
All right, everything's good. Everything's good. There was a salsa festival. I didn't go to, but I had other people of mine go to, and they had a good time.
Right.
So.
Salsa is that the one in Tamiami Park?
Yeah, that's the one.
Was it the Venezuelan? Was it what kind of festival was it?
It was a salsa festival. There was a Venezuelan festival a few weeks ago that I did record.
Okay. Yeah.
But there was also what do you call it? A salsa festival. Any big Latin.
When did it start on Friday?
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
You know why? Because I take my boy to Tamiami Park for swimming classes. Right there, they have my swimming pool there. They have a bunch of instructors that teach kids. So if you want your kid to, like, free promo for Tamiami Park, look at this. If you want your kid to learn how to swim, just take them out there. Sign them up. I think it's pretty cheap. I'm not sure how much it is, but my wife told me it was pretty reasonable. So if you want your kid to learn how to swim, because it's important for kids to learn how to swim, especially down here in South Florida. In the summer, everybody wants to go to the pool. They want to go to the beach. And then you always, unfortunately, you always hear the stories of some kid drowning, stuff like that. So I think it's important for your kids to learn how to swim.
Yeah, well, one of my two kids knows how to swim, so
yeah.
The other one, I have to get her into a class or something.
Did she learn how to swim through lessons, or was it you just taught her?
A friend of mine taught her.
Oh,
I didn't know how to swim.
I was talking to one of the parents at the pool, and I was saying, when I was growing up, we never had swimming classes, and we never had goggles, and my kid has goggles. He has water shoes. He has everything. He's prepared. Like, we didn't have that. We would just dive into any pool or go to the beach and cut off jeans. We were that's how we were. Like, we didn't learn how to swim. We just learned we learned how to swim just by throwing us in the water.
Yeah, I know. You like I grew up in a big city.
Yeah.
And we had the hydrant.
Exactly. When it gets hot, turn on that fire hydrant, and then the fire department used to come a couple hours later because we were wasting too much water.
Yeah. But that's what we had. We had the hydrant. It wasn't late.
That water was cold.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But it was fun.
I remember we used to grab the girls and put them in front of the hydrant, and the guy used to come and put his hands like this so the water could go up in the air.
And wet every car that comes by.
Exactly. And that was back in the days. Our kids got it good nowadays, man. I'm not saying we didn't have it good. It was just a different generation,
Yes.
Kids grew up different the way we used to. And I was telling the parents, she was like laughing. Oh yeah, me too. We didn't have any swimming classes. We just went to the beach. Well, in Chicago we don't have beaches. We have lakes. And then we have like sort of a beach out.
How is that lake? How is Lake
Michigan?
Lake Michigan?
Yeah, it's not really you can say it's a beach or sand out there, but it's not really like a.
Because I've seen pictures of it where people they set up like a beach area with sand and everything. I've seen like beach volleyball in Chicago, like in downtown.
Yeah, it's
but
not
is
the
that water
same.
cool or is it dirty?
It's cold, man. It's a little. Depends what time of the summer you go, I guess.
What do you mean?
Like I don't remember the water being really dirty, but I would say like when it's getting close to when it's getting cold, I could just be I don't know good question, but I don't remember the water being dirty or anything like that. It's coming from Lake Michigan. It has to be kind of clean, right?
Yeah, but don't like boats and stuff go up and down that thing?
Yeah, they do. That's a good question. I don't
Tankers
remember.
and stuff.
I think I'm gonna go this summer and then take a dive in the so-called Chicago beaches, and I'll get back to you.
All right, good.
I'll send you a picture of the water. Send you the picture of the water in Chicago. How are the beaches in New York?
Oh yeah, we had the nasty beaches.
The nasty beaches.
There were some nasty beaches that were like, you don't want to go there. Then you had the nice beach, like Jones Beach.
I was gonna say that. There's a lot of people always talk about Jones Beach.
Yeah, that's where you go to Long Island. You drive out there and you go to Jones Beach. Nice, huge area, nice beach.
Really?
And then there was also another one called Sunken Meadow, which the beach was rocks. It was like rocky.
Mm-hmm.
And that was. Then there was in the city within itself. There was a beach called Manhattan Beach, which was not in Manhattan. There was another one called the Rockaway Beach, and it was rocky.
Far Rockaway, Queens.
Yeah, in that area.
Wow.
So yeah, we had our beaches and we had our things like that, but we had our hydrant.
There you go. Yeah, we couldn't get out to the beaches. We had our fire hydrant. Well, also, there was a place called Cedar Lake. Now that I remember, it was in the suburbs somewhere out in Chicago, and we used to go out there. And there used to be a slide out there in the middle of the beach.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and we used to go there, throw girls down the slide, and they'll be screaming and crying. But that's what I remember. Back in those days, nobody knew how to swim. All right, I wanted to come up with something new for the show. I'm going to have a theme of the show. For each show that we do, there's going to be a theme.
Okay.
So let's see here. The theme of the show for today, our show, July 27, 2015, is football is right around the corner. You didn't put my my computer up.
Oh, you had that ready? I think I only had one thing for me. I'm sorry.
All right, here we go again. The theme of the show, football is right around the corner.
Yes.
Look at that.
Football.
Football right around the corner. Are you excited?
Yeah, I am.
You know, everybody's saying, "Oh, there's no sports going on," which is, there's baseball. Those who are true baseball fans enjoy watching baseball. They're not crying, saying, "Oh, we need more. We need football now." All those diehard football fans just can't wait for football to start. I can't wait. I like all sports, so I'm good at any time of the year. I'm good in the summer because I have baseball. I'm good in the fall and the winter because we have football, and then basketball starts in October. So I'm good year round. Is that with you? Do you agree or disagree?
I agree with you. I mean, I don't have an NFL Network at home. Yeah. But at the other place where I spend a few hours at, they do have NFL Network, and I watch it. I watch old games in there.
You watch the old games?
Yeah. They put old games in there, and they put the history. Yeah. And they put like different documentaries on certain teams and the certain years, and it's pretty good to watch that. I always figure. Now with NFL Network, like, what do you do during the off season? But they do put some good shows out there, some good documentaries of the history of football, right? And even the old games, like you were saying. Yeah, and even they do like they talk about like camp or what's going on, because I never click on it. Like, I always scroll by, I always see NFL Network, and there's an old Super Bowl game. I just can't get into football, and I'm in baseball mode. Yeah, I'm in baseball mode. But football is right around the corner. Our training camp has started for most of the teams. Reading the paper on Sunday, Mr. Manu Salguero, who's the beat writer of the Dolphins for the Miami Herald, he interviewed Coach Joe Philbin, and he gave out a message to all the Dolphin fans, and it's keep the faith. Keep the faith. It's going to be an exciting year, he says. The offense is better, the defense is better, a lot of good free agent pickups for this year for the Dolphins, so I think it's going to be an exciting year for the Dolphins. There was a Harvard research group. Did you hear this one, LC? No, what is it? A Harvard research group did some type of research where they already picked the two teams that are going to be playing in the Super Bowl. Miami against who? The Seahawks. They picked Miami for real? Yeah, they picked the Dolphins and the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. How do you pick Miami? I have no idea. I guess this Harvard research group got together. I'm curious. Wait a minute. And Harvard is where? Harvard is, I believe, in Massachusetts, isn't it? Yes. Isn't there some football team in Massachusetts that has been very successful? I'm not saying nothing against the Dolphins. Yeah. I'm just saying that there's a team in Massachusetts. Yeah. I don't know what team that is. In that New England area. I think they're the defending Super Bowl champions. Yes. So I don't understand how some guy over there. No, it wasn't one guy. It was a big group, a Harvard research group that came together and started. I guess piling up the numbers and taking it from different angles, I guess, and those were the two teams, man, Dolphins and Seahawks. I'm happy. I like that. Do you? Well, you don't like it. You would rather see the Giants, right?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I mean,
The Dolphins and the Giants in the Super Bowl. I think the Giants are going to be a good team this year, man. I heard a lot of good things about the Giants. I haven't read. I'm starting to read up. The Herald's doing they're doing like a special section on the NFL. They're going through each division. They did the AFC East on Sunday, and today's paper they did. Let me see here. I'm looking at the paper right now. They are doing the. Looks like they're doing the AFC.
Oh, what are they doing? They're breaking down the.
Yeah, they're breaking down the teams for each division. I was looking at Sunday's paper there. Here we go. Yeah, so let's see here. They're doing the AFC North. So those who have the Herald, will go online and MiamiHerald.com, and you could read about the AFC North. The Ravens, the Bengals, the Browns, and the Steelers. Out of those 4 teams that I just mentioned, I'll see who you like there. Ravens, Bengals, Browns, Steelers.
Ooh, I'm going to go with Steelers.
The Steelers? Yep.
Yeah.
They were showing it on ESPN. They were showing.
Can't go wrong with a team that has the most titles.
Yeah. Even though they did, well, they were 11-5 last year.
If our old friend Craig Cook was here, he
dissect. Shout out to Craig Cook, man. I miss that guy, man.
Dissect the different divisions and levels of Steeler football.
Exactly.
And the dichotomy of I don't know, whatever he says.
I'm going with the Bengals, man. I think the Bengals are due. Every year they get they make the playoffs. They haven't won a playoff game in years, but I'm going with the Bengals.
Really?
I'm going with the Bengals. Just throwing that out there. Again, the Harvard Research Group predicts the Dolphins and the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. Hopefully that comes to pass. Philbin says, he said in his interview with Salguero, there's a couple question marks on the team, the defensive backs and also the receivers. And the reason why, because there's a lot of new players on the team on both sides of the ball, especially on the receiver side. 3 new receivers, Devontae Parker, they picked up, and also the 2 other free agents that they picked. Devontae Parker was drafted from Louisville, and the other 2 receivers were free agents that came to the Dolphins. So let's see. I think Dennis Hickey, Tannenbaum, GMs of the team are starting to put the pieces together and starting to give Tannehill the weapons that he needs. And Tannehill did receive that big contract this year, so there's a lot of big expectations for Tannehill. Reading not only just the local papers, I like to read the USA Today. I like to go online to read about my teams. And a lot of the so-called experts are saying that look out for the Dolphins. The Dolphins are going to be a good team. I'm predicting the Dolphins to win that division, LC. Even though New England they are the defending champions. I think we have no idea how many game suspension Tom Brady's going to get. They lost Revis. They lost a couple other guys, so who knows? If he gets a 4-game suspension, that's 4 games that are crucial. right off the bat.
Oh yeah, of course.
I'm not saying he'll lose all 4 games, but it's a possibility. How starting the season 0-4 could be. You're digging yourself in a big hole there, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, how do you come out of that?
Yeah.
I mean, out of 0-2 you can come out of, right?
Yeah.
0-4?
0-4 is tough, man. That's a bad start. And as the weeks go on, we'll start dissecting the Dolphins' schedule, and we'll get a little more into the football. Right, I'm not really in football mode yet. I'm getting there. Like I said, the theme of the show, the football's right around the corner. All the diehard football fans they're going nuts. They can't stand baseball. They're complaining because there's nothing on the television to watch. There's no sports. We hate soccer. Right here at the John Ech Show, we love soccer.
We love it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the Gold Cup, the Copa de Oro. Mexico wins 3-1 over Jamaica, and that's their 7th Gold Cup title. Mexico. And I have a friend on Facebook, and she's the next student here at CSB. She's Mexican. She's a big Mexico fan, and she was happy posting Twitter and Facebook about her team.
Yeah, but that stuff is tainted. That's tainted.
I was this close of writing something stupid on commenting on her posts, but I didn't want to get into it because I know she gets very touchy when you talk about her teams. So, but again, it was that game against Panama was horrific. I felt bad for the Panamanian team. I felt bad for the game of soccer. because those two
Yeah,
calls.
that wasn't soccer. That was a disgusting.
Was
mess
that
up
unbelievable? What, man?
Of coaching a referee, and no way. Come on. How much was it? It was already. They were in extra time, right? They were in extra time, weren't they? Already?
What's that? What are you talking about?
When they stopped the clock at the 90-minute marker, was it? I believe. And the whole big skirmish occurred at.
There was like 5 minutes left in the game, and that's when they called it.
It was 5 minutes. Okay.
They called a penalty kick on a dunk.
Yeah, but it was 5 minutes, and then it took like 11 minutes to figure out.
Oh yeah.
To figure that part out, and then give it extra time, for crying out loud.
Well, the reason why was because the Panamanian team they said they weren't going to play. They came off the field, and I think Torres, the coach, the captain of the team, said we're not playing. So he took everybody off the field. And I guess somebody from CONCACAF came down and said, "Man, you guys need to play, or you guys something's going to happen. You guys are going to get fined, suspended, whatever."
Yeah, because it affects them for qualifying for World Cup.
Of course. So that I'm not sure if that's what they said, but they came back on the field and they let Mexico kick the penalty kick, and they scored and they tied up the game. But the call before that, a red card on a man, it's not you don't call a red card on that type of play. I forgot the name of the guy from Panama. They ejected him out of the game. So they were playing with 10 guys through the whole game.
And it should have been a red card on Mexico for the elbow.
Exactly, and they didn't call that one. So, and this is the same referee that well, it's not the same referee. There's been the last 2 games that Mexico played, before the World Cup, before the finals, the referee were American referees. So, the referee came out the day after saying that he wasn't apologizing, because I'm sure the CONCACAF doesn't want him to apologize, but he said he looked at the tape and he said he kind of made a mistake on a couple of those calls there.
And another thing too, which the Mexican fans, wherever they were filling up the stadiums. Yes, that was great.
Mm-hmm.
To see the stadiums packed. Yes. John has a button over there he's very happy with.
Wait till I get the rest of the sound effects going, and then you're gonna show me how to put them on a playlist, and I'm gonna go crazy on the sound effects. What were you gonna say?
No, that the Mexican the fans, yeah, they filled up the stadium, and that was good to see.
66,000 people were there.
Yeah, I mean, only the U.S. filled it up also.
Right.
Wherever they played.
Right.
But the Mexican fans, they were throwing stuff when they disagreed with plays, and there was garbage being thrown.
Right.
And not even in the Panama game, even in the Costa Rica game, every single game, something was wrong, and they were throwing junk on the field.
Yeah.
And I remember one was in that where Trinidad could tie the game,
mm-hmm.
and they would have a lead in the grouping,
right,
where everyone would be, and they were in the it was a corner kick, and there was so much junk flying in. And even when Panama scored their goal, they scored the goal, and people were throwing stuff from the corner, throwing stuff down onto the field, and that was just crazy, man. Yeah. That just was not even right.
Well, during the Panama-Mexico game, when they called the penalty kick, there was so much
debris and soda and water.
Oh,
and
man. I think they stopped the game for like 15 minutes before Mexico got to kick the penalty kick. But, man, it got kind of scary. The referee he looked shook, man. And right after the game was over, everybody from the Panama side came towards him, and they wanted to kick his ass.
Oh yeah, that was
so
crazy.
The security came and they put him in in a circle, and they escorted him out of the stadium.
It's like watching a soccer game in another country, and that was weird. That was here in the U.S.
Yeah, I kind of felt bad for him, but then again, I felt worse for the Panamanian team because soccer. A lot of people don't understand this, but soccer is so passionate for these passion for the fans, especially for your team. Your country, and you lose a game like this, I was like, I couldn't believe what was happening.
And no replay.
No replay, right? But I couldn't believe what's happening. Again, soccer, it's emotional. You're rooting for your country, and things like this happen. There could be fights. It could be. We've heard stories like what happens in South America. Referees get killed, players get killed. Remember in the World Cup in the 80s, that the guy from Colombia missed the penalty kick.
Yeah, and the auto.
Oh no, the auto goal. Yeah. And they end up burning down his house, and they end up killing him.
Yep.
So
now on a lighter tone, I mean, what was the name of your friend that the Mexican friend of yours?
You want to throw her out there?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, just want first name.
Ariana.
This for you and your Mexican team. Celebrate your tainted Gold Cup victory.
Oh, tainted. She's gonna be mad at you, man, by saying that.
So yeah, so celebrate that, okay? So have fun with that word Gold Cup. That's tainted. Tainted, I say.
Well, how about the U.S., man? That was disappointing to see them lose to Jamaica. They were heavily favored against Jamaica, and they ended up losing in penalty kicks. It looked like they weren't even in the game. In the overtime, I guess they were tired. I don't know what it was. It looked like they weren't even in the game. They were settling for just to stay tied so they could go into penalty kicks.
Wait, which game was this one?
When they played when they played Jamaica. I'm sorry, they went into overtime with penalty kicks against Panama, but they lost to Jamaica.
Yeah, they lost those 2 last games.
Yeah.
What happened there?
I have no idea. I got it all confused now. USA lost to Jamaica to get to the finals, and they had to play in that third place game.
And they lost that one too.
In penalty kicks to Panama. And I kind of felt all right for Panama after they lost to Mexico like that. But good news for the USA team. Tim Howard's coming back. He announced that he's coming back. I think the next game is a friendly. Is it over? Yeah, against Peru. I think in August, somewhere around there. I could be wrong. Maybe August, September, around there.
Okay.
But going back to Mexico, this is their 7th Gold Cup title, and again, if you notice that game against Panama, like I forgot what's the coach's name, the little fat guy. What's his name? Ferrero, something like that.
I forgot.
Oh no, Herrera. Yeah.
Oops.
He kind of knew that call, the penalty kick call that the referee made.
Yeah, they didn't talk after the Costa Rica game. They didn't talk to the press.
Oh, really?
And after the Panama game, they didn't talk. They didn't want to talk to the press.
Really?
So what does that tell you?
Yeah, against Panama, you could tell. And he was like kind of hiding by the bench there. And he didn't really want to say anything. And what are you gonna do? And then the broadcaster in Spanish, because I was listening to the game in Spanish on Univision, I believe. Yeah, Univision. The guy was saying they missed the penalty on purpose.
What?
Yeah, he was telling because the fault, the call of the referee was bad.
They're saying that they should miss it.
They should miss it on purpose. Now, would you do that?
No, you can't.
You can't, right?
You can't because a later play was bad.
Yeah.
No, wait a minute. In that game, the last penalty was justified.
Yes, it was.
But the other 2 before the penalty kicks were not justified.
Yes, sir.
That was not justified. Yeah, but you can't. You got to kick it. You got to kick it in. You got to try your best to kick it in, because.
Can you imagine if the Mexican guy would just tap it to the side, not even try to kick it to the goal?
No, you can't. You can't because again, it's one thing for the game. Oh, I'll sacrifice it for the game.
Yeah.
But that's your livelihood.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a player that's going to be playing. Maybe you're not getting paid with Mexico. You're getting something with Mexico, but you're playing on a club somewhere.
Yeah.
And your money. And if they see that you were, he did it for the good of the game,
yeah, they're
not going to pay you for that stuff. That's all. It goes back into contract negotiations. You start thinking about all those kind of things. So you want a guy who can score a goal.
Yeah.
That penalty was not his fault. It was not for him to decide if it was right or wrong.
Yeah.
That's the referee, and that's the conference's decision to regulate that. But that's not for him to play into.
I think I'm taking it to an extreme here. I think El Chapo would have been really mad.
Oh,
he would have gone after him.
Well, see, that's another thing too. Other
people who were betting on the game too.
Yeah, people have money, betting the game in Mexico.
Yeah.
You just ruin an opportunity for us to make some money, and then they'll get upset and blah blah blah.
Right.
You do it, you play the game, fine. I know and I understand. People will say, "Oh, the integrity of the game has to be preserved and all that."
Yeah.
Yeah, but not when it's your livelihood.
Yeah.
There
was 3 guys doing the broadcast, and I don't know their names. They're Univision guys, and 2 of the guys were saying, miss it on purpose, and then one guy was like saying, "Come on, you can't do something like that. You gotta." You're right, Elsie. When I was watching the game, I was so emotional, and he's not even my team. I just felt so bad for Panama, and I was agreeing with them. I could just miss the penalties, so you could let the world know that that stuff like this shouldn't happen. But again, it's sports. You gotta. It wasn't Mexico's fault that happened. It was the referee's fault.
Exactly.
So that's what I was thinking about that too. That's another reason why they kicked the the penalty kick, but
yeah, the onus
yeah.
is on the referee,
Yeah.
not on the player or the team.
Yeah.
The onus is on the referee to call the game right.
Right.
That's what it's on.
But I applaud Panama. I applaud them, man. They played great throughout the whole tournament, and they got third place. And we'll see what happens in the World Cup. And there's other tournaments going on. I think.
Now, one thing Jamaica did mention.
Yeah.
In that game, even though they lost, but for them it was still it was a great move in Jamaican football to go to a final. That was their first final ever to go to.
Yeah. So should we applaud them too?
Yeah.
There you go, Jamaica. Do we have a boo?
Well, this is what
sound effect?
This is what I have over here
For the USA, boo.
Wait, I have so they're right.
Okay.
And I have also and for the USA,
damn son.
Yeah, they played pretty bad. It looked like they weren't even in the game.
Yeah.
They weren't even in the game.
And that's 2 games that they lost.
2 games.
How do you come out of there? I mean, at least go for the third place
against 2 teams that are ranked so high up in the world rankings.
Now this means that the U.S. has to qualify through other methods for the World Cup again.
Right.
Now that's not good.
Well, they got to play Mexico now in Russia.
What?
In September, and they're playing some type of cup. I forgot the name of the cup. That's like a warm up for the World Cup in 2017.
Oh, okay, yeah. I know you're talking about.
So the winner of that game, Jamaica versus Mexico, and we all know Mexico won 3-1, would play the United States. If I read correctly, it was in Russia, and that's a warm up tournament for the World Cup. All right. Let's see here. Okay, we got 3 minutes left. Let's go. I got a good place. If you want to go out and get something to drink, I got a great place. It's called Jada Cole's Bar. 2845 Coral Way is the number. Jada Cole's Bar. You can find them on Facebook and also on Instagram. Just type in Jada Cole's Bar. There's a lot of things going on at Jada Cole's throughout the week. On Mondays, they got poker night. That starts at 8 o'clock. And they also got this thing called In the Biz Night. Where people who are in the hospitality business come to Jada Cole's and get 50% off your bar tab. On Tuesdays, they got free pool. You can play pool for free, and they have tournaments out there. They have clubs that go out there and play pool. On Wednesday, they have an open jam session. So if you're part of a band, you could call them up, and or just go to Facebook or Instagram and just let them know that you're part of a band and you want to play at Jada Cole's. On Thursdays, they got a live band. I think it's their house band, with Scotty Kokalis playing the guitar there, the electric guitar. And on Fridays, they got DJ Del Swagga spinning the hot tunes, all kinds of music, great music. On Saturdays, karaoke night. And on Sunday, you got to go on Sunday night. You know why? Because it's ladies' night, starting at 8 o'clock. And all ladies, if you come after 8 o'clock, you get 50% off your bar tab. So there it is, Jada Cole's Bar, 2845 Coral Way. It's in the heart of Miami. Right there, little east of Coral Gables, a little south of Little Havana, a little north of Coconut Grove, and then a little west from downtown Brickell.
Yeah.
So right there, you're in the middle of Miami. A lot of fun. A lot of things happening in that area. So.
By the way, let's give an update. I know you're in the middle there. Just an update. We will be there very soon.
Oh, round of applause for that. Round of applause. We will be there very soon. That's good news. I miss going over there.
Yeah, me too.
All right. So, and also during the week, happy hours from 4 to 8, and you go. They got big TV screen there. You can watch the games. You can play pool. And you can also play poker. That's 2845 Coral Way, Jada Cole's Bar. Check them out. All right. When we come back, we'll talk some baseball. We'll talk about the 2015 inductees into the Hall of Fame. So keep it locked right here. The John Ech Show, 24/7 Miami.tv.
Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Louis Chacon here from 24/7 Miami Radio. You're watching us now on YouTube, and we're also on Instagram and at 247 Miami, on Twitter at 247 Miami, even on Periscope. You can watch some of our shows also. So right now we're in the middle of the John Ech Show. John Ech Show, that's on Mondays, that you can hear on the radio side. You can always hear it at 7 o'clock on 24/7 Miami Radio. Now, let's talk about Saturday on 24/7 Miami Radio. 24/7 Miami Radio on Saturday, we have Rink Rash Radio. Rink Rash Radio, ladies from the Miami Vice City Rollers. We have Wilma Shakespeare and Anger, and they both host a talk show talking about all about roller derby in South Florida and throughout the world. I believe that last week we didn't have a show because ladies went to RollerCon. Yes, RollerCon, a big convention out in Vegas, and it's about, I think, about 3 days of roller derby. There's, I almost said matches. They don't call it matches. They call it bouts. They have bouts all day, and then we have the ladies. So they're out there. They were out there for a week, and they'll be back next week here on 24/7 Miami Radio on Saturdays. You can watch live on YouTube at 10 o'clock on Saturday Eastern Time, or you could listen to it on the radio at 8 o'clock at night. 8 o'clock at night on 24/7 Miami Radio. Now, the other show we have on Saturday is called The Female Perspective. The Female Perspective. It's ladies that are Bobby Bonder, Kathy Whitmire, and I forgot the other host we have on there, but she'll get me later. I know she will. And then they talk about, they're clinical psychologists, and they talk about different topics. Last week they were talking about parenting. They are now in a 2-hour format. So now for 2 hours, you get to hear the ladies from the female perspective, which you can listen to it at 9 o'clock on 24/7 Radio, or watch it live on YouTube on Saturdays at 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock you can watch them, and that's the female perspective. Last episode they were talking about parenting and how parenting has changed and how parenting can be done and certain laws with child services and all these different type of rules. It was an interesting show they had last Saturday, which will be replayed here on 24/7 Miami Radio. In about a few seconds, we'll be right back to the John Ech Show. If some of you watching on YouTube can see John just walked back into the studio. Yes, this is the John Ech Show, which you can hear every Monday at 7 o'clock. And as I mentioned about a few minutes ago, we will be going to Jada Cole's and doing a live broadcast at 7 o'clock from Jada Cole's. So now, without further ado, we go back to the John Ech Show here on 24/7 Miami Radio.
All right, welcome back to the John Ech Show, 24/7Miami.tv. Round of applause for that. That was a great commercial you did there, LC. I didn't get to hear all of it, but I heard the ending of it.
Well, of course, I was talking about the great John Ech Show.
When is our rebroadcast? We're live every Monday from 7 to 9, right?
Yes. And also on the mornings on Tuesday. Well, we also have another rebroadcast at midnight.
Okay.
Another rebroadcast at midnight, and also on.
I thought it was 11.
I moved up to midnight now.
You moved up to midnight.
You moved midnight.
Wow.
I want those overnight guys that are listening and to check out the John Ech Show. What's going on? And then we also have for the morning people. We have it also at I believe 7 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, good.
On 24/7 Miami Radio. So you're actually a morning show in a sense, also a Tuesday morning show.
So if you're getting your coffee ready, getting ready to go to work.
And then another rebroadcast on Tuesday.
Okay.
At 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, you do have another rebroadcast. Because you lead up into our other show that's on Tuesday, which I'll talk about on our next break, which I'll mention that a little bit later on. But yeah, we have it on. So 12 midnight on Monday, and then 7 a.m. on Tuesday. And then 4 p.m. 4 p.m. also on Tuesday.
4 p.m. on Tuesday, okay.
And I believe at 1 p.m. on Wednesday.
1 p.m. Okay, good. So if you can't catch the show on Mondays, you can't catch the live show, you could catch us again midnight on Monday, and then 7 a.m.
Yeah,
Tuesday morning.
You're the midnight overnight guy on Monday night.
And also at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday, and then Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. The theme of the show today is football is right around the corner. That's the theme of the show today, guys, because, going back to the guys that don't enjoy baseball or just are big crybabies and complaining all the time. And I hear them. I got friends like that. I got a buddy that he hates baseball, doesn't watch soccer. So he has nothing to watch. He was watching the summer league, NBA summer league. That's
I like
over.
That. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, I think so too. I enjoyed it, especially the guys that got drafted. I wanted to see how those guys were playing. But
I don't know if you're gonna go into this, but that NBA summer league, I'm even hooked on that because again, I also have access to the NBA TV.
Right.
I'm hooked on the NBA TV as well.
Yeah. They had the Hardwood Classics, the Lakers and the Celtics the other night.
Yeah.
I forgot what year it was in 80. I want to say 84, something like that around there. But they had that going on. But it's true.
Now here's one thing. I think I mentioned this once before.
Yeah.
Those summer leagues, they should open up in Orlando for us fans to watch it. So us fans here in Florida can watch a team. I would love to have a summer league here in Miami. Yeah. Open up that arena, right?
They don't want to bring those young kids to Miami, man. They'll get in trouble, man. Those rookies, they'll come down. You know what happened in South Beach, man?
No, well, okay. How about like this?
You know, there's always that story that I don't know if it's a myth. I guess it might be factual, but they're saying when teams come down to Miami, they go to South Beach, they get in some type of trouble, and so on, or they stay out so late that when they have a game the next day, they don't play well because they were out all night partying in South Beach.
Well, then that's a real test if they can handle the NBA.
Hey, that's a good
You know
point.
what? That's also part of the proving ground. What? You're late? What were you doing? Partying in South Beach?
Yeah.
You may not last long on the team. You don't want to give them a nice well, come on. Wait. Hold on. Now I found the counter argument to that.
Okay.
So Las Vegas is a nice, decent place to stay to.
Good point. Good point. I think Vegas is worse than South Beach.
I know. That's what I mean.
What do they say? Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas? That's the saying.
And we never know whatever happens over there because it stays in Vegas.
Exactly.
Now, they do have a summer league in Utah, too.
Do they?
Yeah, there have been games in Utah. And they open up the arena, $5 a seat.
Okay.
So.
But whatever happens in South Beach, everybody knows.
There you go. I like that.
Vegas, whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Whatever happens in South Beach, everybody knows. Everybody. So, yeah, I don't know. I was thinking to myself earlier, like for example, the Washington Nationals are coming down to play the Marlins starting tomorrow, and they got the Padres coming in on Thursday. Like, do these guys? I'm sorry, they're coming in on Friday. Do these guys oh yes, we're going to Miami. I can't wait to get down to Miami, go to South Beach.
Oh yeah, I wonder. Yeah, you're right. I wonder if like, or the women too. Who's coming to town? The groupies.
The groupies, right?
Who's coming to town
We'll
this week?
follow them. What hotel are they staying at?
Yeah.
So I think that happens, man. People, teams that come down to Miami, they have that marked down on their calendar. Yeah, we're going to be in Miami that year. Let's get there one day earlier so we could experience the city. We could go to South Beach, and get in trouble, and have somebody film you doing something stupid at a club. Or
how is it in the NBA where they have those games in LA? I've always heard of stories which is kind of like how with LeBron and Wade, would hang out before LeBron came down to Miami.
Yeah. When
they would have those games where it would be like the Heat would play let's say the Lakers and the Cavs would play the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to stay in the same city for like 4 days or 2 days or something like that.
Oh, really?
So they have one day in between where it's their day off.
Yeah.
And I've always heard different stories of things happening on that one day off.
Really?
Because, the teams are in town. Because remember, they share the same arena.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like either one day they set up for the Laker game, and the next day I think it's a Christmas game that everyone talks about.
Because they always do. They do play in it's called the Staples Center out there in California.
Yeah, I think it's the Christmas game. That's the one that everyone talks about.
Yeah. That
stuff happens.
Well, now that the Clippers are relevant, they're giving them more TV time.
Oh yeah.
So before, the Clippers were one of the worst teams in the league, so they didn't get any playing time.
And that nasty logo they have now.
Yeah.
What do you think about their logo?
I
I haven't put it up yet. You want to see it?
Yeah, let me see their new logo. I heard the Pacers. I got a buddy from Indiana saying the Pacers are going to start. They're going to wear the. I don't know if it's a throwback. They're going to start wearing the hickory jerseys from Indiana. Is that the new one there?
Yeah.
That's not bad. You like it?
It looks like it was done on Microsoft Word or something.
I gotta look at it more. Yeah. Whatever. Getting back to
NFL football.
NFL football again. Like I was saying, my buddy's saying that there's nothing on television. So training camp did start today for some of the teams. Do you ever gone out to any of the training?
I went to the Dolphins one 2 years ago.
Hot as hell out there, man.
It is hot.
I went last year. I almost passed out.
And I guess you got to pay.
There's
extra.
no shade out there.
Well, there is one. You got to pay extra to go to the upper level.
You're right. Yep, the upper level. It's like sort of the VIP up there where there's shade. But if you don't get in there, There is no shade at all, and I was so hot out there. I was sweating like crazy.
I think you're better off in the parking garage because there's a parking garage right next to it.
Oh yeah, you can see from up there.
You can see from up there, but I think you're better off in the parking garage. I think that's a little trick that I'm giving out.
Really?
You go to the parking garage.
Yeah.
You stay in there. Open up the back.
Yeah.
Have your whatever you want to drink in your outside your vehicle.
Exactly.
And then you can watch from up high up there.
Really? I didn't know that. I'm thinking I'm gonna do that this year because it was hot as man. It was so hot, man. And they practice at Doctor's Hospital in Davie, Florida. So those who want to go out and check out the Fins, I think they start. I'm not sure when the Fins start. They start this week. I'm not sure if it's tomorrow or maybe it might start today, but it starts this week. So the Fins are back on the field in that hot weather, man. So big ups for the.
On 24/7 Miami, I have someone by the name of Andy Simancas.
Yeah.
He's following everything with the Dolphins.
Right.
And he's always sending me updates. So I'm always putting stuff on Twitter that he sends me.
Mm-hmm.
So if you follow 24/7 Miami or follow A Simanca, you can catch up on what's going on with NFL Dolphins training. Okay.
There you go. All right. Follow Andy Simancas on Twitter or wherever he's on Facebook. 4 guys got into the Hall of Fame in Major League Baseball. Four worthy men: Randy Johnson, Craig Biggio, Pedro Martinez, and John Schmaltz. And Pedro Martinez spoke last from the 4 guys that spoke at the podium. Well, there was more guys that spoke. There was Dick Enberg got into the Hall of Fame too, and a bunch of other guys that were not players. But the 4 players were Randy Johnson, Biggio, Martinez, and Schmaltz. Now Schmaltz is the first pitcher to win more than 200 games and have and save at least 150 games. So the guy started his career as a starting pitcher, and at the end of his career, well, I don't say at the end of the year, or towards the end of his career, they made him into a closer. So this guy, Schmaltz, 200 games and 150 games saved. So what a great accomplishment for Johnny Schmaltz. He did win a World Series back in the early 90s with the Atlanta Braves. Craig Biggio played for the same team for 20 years, LC. That's unheard of nowadays. You never see a guy play.
Jump around.
Yeah, you never see a guy playing in the same team for so many years. I think Cal Ripken did play for the Baltimore Orioles for his whole career. I'm trying to think of other teams.
By the way, I have a picture of the Hall of Fame inductees back there behind you.
Oh, there they go. Look at that. Boom. Randy Johnson, that dude's pretty tall, huh?
Yeah, I know.
Imagine going up against him. He was throwing high 90s heat.
Think of John Kruk.
Oh, man, that was a classic. What did he say? He said that the ball went over his head. He was like, "Whoa!"
He was scared.
He was really scared. He's like, "I don't think I want to hit anymore, man." But
that was funny.
All right, Randy Johnson, 20-game winner in '97, 4 Cy Youngs. He has over 300 wins. And I'm sorry, I skipped over Biggio's statistics here. 20 years as an Astro. He played 4 positions. Started out as a second baseman, and then he turned into a catcher, and then he played the outfield. I think he even threw on third base. Over 3,000 hits, 600 doubles, 400 stolen bases, and over 150 home runs for Craig Biggio. And then I think the man of the hour was Pedro Martinez. And I'm not saying this because I'm Hispanic, but Pedro Martinez, from a lot of other players that I hear, the guy was not just only a great baseball player. The guy he's a great man. He was a great man outside the baseball field, and everybody. I haven't heard one bad thing about Pedro except when he body slammed Coach Don Zimmer. Remember that when the Yankees had a fight against
he pushed Zimmerman away.
Yeah, he kind of grabbed him and threw him on the ground. He said that he charged. If somebody's charging me, I'm gonna try to defend myself, right?
Yeah, it wasn't his fault.
Popeye was coming right at him. He just grabbed him and just pushed him to the side, but. That was just everybody apologized and there was no bad blood after that. But Pedro Martinez.
I still don't understand why he was going after him.
Exactly.
Why was Zimmerman going after him?
Exactly. Popeye Zimmer is like, well, I don't even know how old he was. He was in his 70s back then, and he charged Pedro, and Pedro had. What would you do? Exactly. What would you do?
He didn't try. Pedro didn't try to fight him off. He just tried to push him away. Which is just so he doesn't A, hit you,
exactly.
And B, you don't hit him. You just shove him to the side.
Wow. Pedro, 2 Cy Youngs, World Series champ in 2004. and he did something special. If you're Dominican, this is it has to be. It's not only Dominican, but if you love the game of baseball, also, this is a touching speech, the one he gave at the podium at the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, and he brought up another great Dominican player from back in the days, Juan Marichal, and it took I think Marichal became inducted into the Hall of Fame in '82 or '83, and it took that long for another Dominican player to get inducted to the Hall of Fame. That was Pedro Martinez, and he sort of like brought that up during his speech, and I'm gonna give you guys a little touch of his speech here. He talked in English and he talked in Spanish. So for those who baseball lovers, Dominican fans of his that love the game, here's a little bit of Pedro.
All the coaches and trainers that I was able to spend time with, Chris Correnti is one name that I could never forget. This is the guy that went through war with me. And wherever you are, Chris, I love you. I appreciate it. May God bless you. I would like to thank God for all the teammates I had. Jason Verite. Hey, 1-5. Kevin Millar. Manny Ramirez. David Ortiz. So many names that I could mention today. I would like to thank all of you. The ones that I played with. The ones that I competed against. Because you guys helped me on the field, helped me defeat those other teams, and at the same time, you guys build my courage, strength, and desire to go out there and try to beat you. The competition, I want to acknowledge you, and I want to tell you that I respected you, even though...
Pedro was a big part of ending that drought of the Red Sox.
Oh, yeah.
So... I know you're not a Yankee fan, you're a Mets fan, so you really don't have any animosity towards Pedro Martinez. Because I know Yankee fan.
And later on, he became a Met pitcher.
Yeah, he did become a Met pitcher in the end of his career. But what'd you think of Pedro, man? You're a fellow Dominican.
No, I'm very proud to have another fellow Dominican.
Yeah.
In the Hall of Fame. I know his career, of course, he deserved to be in there. I mean.
Oh, of course.
Now, how many other Dominican players in the past deserve to be there? It's very rough because, I mean...
Well, the last guy before him was
Marichal.
Marichal.
Yeah, we know
83.
32-year difference.
Yeah, 32. And he mentions it during the speech. I'm going to play it a little later. But, yeah, what were we saying? I'm sorry?
No, that, I mean, I know in the past we've had some good Dominican players, but I know coming up soon we're going to have even more Dominican players eligible to join the Hall of Fame once they retire. Pujols. Vladimir Guerrero.
Yeah, he said it during the speech. In 2 years, Vladimir Guerrero should be.
Good. So I mean, yeah, we're gonna have. I mean,
how about you think Manny Ramirez will get in? A lot of writers didn't like him, man, and then he was in this, and he got busted for steroids.
See, that's kind of tough because in that steroid era.
Yeah.
If you because then if you let him in, then it opens the door for A-Rod.
Yeah.
I mean, based on statistics, A-Rod should go in.
Of course.
But that tainted with the steroid era.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, they're gonna have to build like a new. I hope they buy land at Hall of Fame to build a separate wing of the Hall of Fame for all the steroid era.
This hall here is for the steroid guys.
No, not even. It'll just like an asterisk. The entrance will be a huge asterisk on the entrance. Hey, what is that building?
Who will be in it?
Oh, again, you and A-Rod, Bonds, Clemens. There'll be a whole big party in there. People.
McGuire,
Sammy
Sosa,
Palmeiro.
Oh my God.
So yeah.
You think Pujols did steroids, man? Never been busted before. Even though we had a picture came out a couple years ago saying that he I don't know if he saw him, but he knew that Pujols did steroids. And they got kind of brushed under the rug, man. It was like it came out in the papers for a little bit, and then nobody said anything else after that. You know?
I don't know, man.
Pujols having a great year this year, man. He's got over 20 home runs. He's projected to hit over 50 this year.
Here's my thing. I'm kind of worried about. It's a theory. It's only a theory. There's no facts or anything behind it.
Right.
But a lot of those players with steroids are Dominican players. I hope that nothing comes out with Pujols.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because there's a lot of weird connections with Dominican players and steroids.
Yeah.
So, like I said, very touchy. I hope nothing ever comes out. And if it doesn't come out, good. I mean, and if it, I mean, that doesn't come out, it didn't happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Because now that it comes out, someone's hiding something.
Right.
Just said, hope he didn't do any of that stuff.
But do you honestly think he did it or he didn't? Or, you know?
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
You don't think he did it? Okay. I don't know. He looks like a good guy, man. Doesn't mean anything, but I just don't think, deep in my heart, I don't think he did it. Some people say he did. Look at the numbers, man. During, was it when he was with the Cardinals, unbelievable numbers he was putting up, man. MVP of the league. I don't know how many time All-Star appearances he's had, but he's had a bunch of them. And this year, even though last year he was hurt, he's now playing with the Angels. This year he's having one of the best years in his career. So that's Albert Pujols. But going back to Martinez, he did mention something that you're going to hear in the speech when we go back to it. That he said that he doesn't he was speaking to the Dominican people, man, to his people, and to all Latin players. That when you see his name written in the Hall of Fame, when you see his plaque, like, don't see baseball, don't see the statistics, but see hope that you could do it. If you really, the way he said it, the way he did it with faith, dedication, had help from having family. Especially his bigger brother Ramon he called him his second father because he didn't have his father to really help him during his time as a baseball player. But all those things he put together said that that's what made him the player that he is and the Hall of Famer that he is. So here's a little bit more of his speech. He's going to switch to Spanish here, so I apologize for those who don't speak Spanish, but we speak Spanish here, so forget about you.
Sometimes by the pitches, you wouldn't tell that. I would like to thank God for the opportunity of being here. I would like all of you to not look at me as numbers, as baseball, as achievements. I would like you to actually see me as a sign of hope for a third world country, for Latin America, someone that you can really look up to, and feel comfortable enough to say, I'm proud of you. Gracias, mi gente.
See, let's get to this part of his speech in the next segment because I know we were running against the time here, but we'll get to Pedro's speech in Spanish when we come back. But going back to baseball, let's talk a little bit about the Marlins. What's going on with the Marlins? They are our hometown team. They lose to the Padres yesterday 3-2, a 3-7 road trip, which is horrible. And everybody knows no Stanton, no D. Gordon. D. Gordon looks like he's coming back next week, and it looks like another 2 weeks for Stanton. And the Marlins are, I would say, officially out of contention. Would you say, LC?
Yeah.
They are 41-58, 12 games behind the Washington Nationals, who are coming to town tomorrow. But I don't want to go through the rant again that I did a couple weeks ago, saying that don't give up on the team. A lot of injuries, a lot of bad luck, new manager, stuff like that derails the team. A lot of experts in the Peter Gammons, who's the guy from ESPN, what's the guy's Tim? I forgot his name. He said that the Marlins were going to be a pretty good team and looking for a wild card.
Well, yeah, that was when the team was healthy.
Yeah.
The thing is that
before the season started, yeah.
You start off season with the team not being healthy. Fernandez was out.
Yeah.
And then before Fernandez comes back, Stanton's out.
Yeah.
Now I'm not saying all the weight should be on those players, but I don't think that, and of course changing the manager from
huge.
From Jennings to Redmond.
Yeah.
I mean from Redmond to Jennings. I don't know. I know a lot more was expected of them.
Yeah.
But it's a tough division. It's a tough division, the East.
Your Mets are playing pretty good, buds.
I mean, yeah, the Mets are pitching. They're not hitting.
The DeGrom is awesome, man.
But the thing that's a problem.
They're not hitting, but they have great pitching. But Juan Uribe, you guys got Juan Uribe. He had a game-winning home run yesterday. So they're trying to get pitching. They're
it was.
I mean, they're trying to get hitting.
Yeah, yesterday was a double in extra innings.
Oh, it was a double? Wasn't a home run?
No, it wasn't a home run.
Okay.
It was a double in extra innings against the Giants.
So against the Dodgers, I think it was.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But they are trying to get some hitting there. But the trading deadline is on is looming on. It's Fridays the deadline. That's it. After that, you can't make any trades for the Marlins. Latos, Dan Herron, and Prado are rumored to be being traded. It looks like Prado might be going back to the Yankees, where he played last year. And Latos and Herron, I'm not sure where they rumored to be going or being traded to. The Marlins are coming home. They're already home. They start tomorrow a 3-game series against the Nats, and then on Friday, Saturday, Sunday against the Padres. Jose Fernandez is on the mound tomorrow versus Jordan Zimmerman. A couple other rumors that are going around. Well, Cueto already got traded to the Royals, and David Price is being rumored to be traded. Aroldis Chapman, the Cuban pitcher, is rumored to be traded, and Cole Hamels, who threw a no-hitter against my Cubbies on Saturday. So that's for baseball. We'll get to a little later. We'll talk about A-Rod, who's having a great season. MVP candidate. I'm just saying. So keep it locked here at 247miami.tv, the John Ech Show. Catch us on YouTube, also on TuneIn Radio, and also you can follow the show on Facebook, the John Ech Show, and you can follow me on Twitter also, the John Ech Show. So keep it locked. Don't move because we got Pedro's speech coming up in Spanish. Again, I apologize to those who don't speak Spanish. But Pedro, man.
We have closed caption on the radio for the Spanish speakers.
I was emotional. It was emotional, man. I had tears in my eyes during this speech, man. All right, keep it locked. Don't you dare move.
Yes, folks, that's the John Ech Show here on 24/7 Miami Radio. Our first hour is in the books. Our first hour of the John Ech Show is in the books. But now let's talk about Tuesday on 24/7 Miami Radio. On Tuesday, we have Urban Sports Take. Urban Sports Take, you can hear it at noon. It's produced from the makers of Urban Suite with Tanya D, which is actually Tanya. She helps produce that show. It's 4 local guys. I know I'll get their names correct one of these days. And they come in here, half an hour of sports. It's unfiltered, unedited, raw, straight sports talk, sports take for you. So on that show, it's a pretty interesting show. It's about a half hour long. You can listen to it on 24/7 Miami Radio at noon on Tuesdays. Then you have at 6 o'clock, you have Urban Suite. Tanya D, which is also on her Twitter name, Cookies and Vodka. I like that name, by the way. It's very funny. If you follow it all day long, you can catch very funny conversations that she has about all the different things that happen in her life and that happen in South Florida. So yeah, you can catch Urban Suite with Tanya and all of her cast of very interesting people with a different take on different news happening in South Florida and in the world. So that's on Tuesday at 6 o'clock. Now, at 9 o'clock, by the way, at 8 o'clock, there will be a new show airing very soon, which is coming back to us. Which, as John Ech was talking in the last segment, football's coming back. Guess what? The Fantasy Frauds is coming back. This is a breakdown about everything in the fantasy football with Al Simbaco. Al Simbaco will be talking about fantasy football, the pick'ems, the stardoms, the situms, all that happening, and our show of fantasy football talk. And the way he does it is not just reading out numbers, 1 touchdown, 2 passes, blah, 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 blah. No. This show, he breaks it down to see the players on what they've been doing. He watches the games. He watches all these games on Sundays and on Monday. So he'll break it down for you on what's good to pick in your fantasy football league, wherever you may have it. So that's coming up very soon in about 2 weeks. The Fantasy Frauds here on 24/7 Miami Radio at 8 o'clock on Tuesdays. Now, at 9 o'clock, we have what? we have the show that is, I think, one of the hottest shows that we have going on, because they talk about all that's happening in the movies and in TV in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. As we all know, there's so many different superhero movies out there now. So you can catch up on all that's happening on your favorite shows, like even Arrow they talk about, which do not mention that to Adrian because he gets into a fight about that. We also have them talk about Spider-Man, Captain America, Iron Man, the Avenger movies, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and a lot of different things. They even break down into the comic book world because they read those comics. You know these movies that we're all watching? They have read all those comics. They're up to date on what's happening in the comic book world. So yeah, that's Capes and Co-host with your host Garrett Phillips and your co-host Cardo, or as he calls it on Twitter, Darth Cardo. So yeah, that's on Tuesdays on 24/7 Miami Radio. Now, on our next break, I'm going to talk about Wednesdays on 24/7 Miami Radio. And you can also catch up on most of the shows I just mentioned. You can catch up and check the schedules also on our website. We invite you to go there at www.247miami.tv. Now, coming up in the next hour, we have the John Ech Show here on 24/7 Miami Radio.
All right, we're back. 247miami.tv. Wow. John Ech Show.
On YouTube also.
YouTube, baby. Those who are driving with your windows down. Well, with your windows up. It's too hot out there, man. Mad Dog used to say, those driving down with your windows, those driving around the city with your windows down, dial this number, blah, 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 blah. But it's too hot out there, man. You gotta have air conditioning, right?
Of course.
I'm just sorry for people who don't have any AC in their cars, man.
That's sticky driving.
Oh, that's really bad. But welcome back. It is football is right around the corner show. So let's give a round of applause to that theme of our show here. There you go. Let's do it again one more time. Football is right around the corner. And Joe Philbin, like I said earlier in our first segment, he's sat down with Armando Salguero from the Miami Herald. I'm just going to read some quotes here real quick before we get to Pedro. When I interviewed for the job, this is Joe Philbin talking, I'm going to remind the players that I told Stephen Ross, who's the owner of the Dolphins, that I want this team to compete for championships. To compete for championships, plural. That's something I want to remind them of. There's the AFC East Championship, there's the AFC Championship, and there's the Super Bowl championships. So that's the goal. Joe Philbin said
that's what we want to hear. That's what we want to hear from a coach.
There you go.
That you're going for the championship every year.
I support him.
Every year, that's what you want. That's what you should all want. Not we want to have a good team this year. No.
Yeah.
We want to win.
You know, one thing that's bothering me now. I've been thinking about this for a while already. How I'm not sure if this is South Florida, is it everywhere in the country, or this is just the way people think. The fans of sport, sports fans think nowadays. They want to win right away. And there's certain sports like baseball, for example. It takes time. You can't just build a team. Like I'm gonna put my Cubs for an example. You can't expect the Cubs to win the World Series this year.
Well, wait a minute. I got an argument for that one.
Yeah.
The Marlins first championship.
That's okay. That
was a bought. Yes, they did pay a lot for all those players.
Yeah.
But they did have to play on the field, and they did have to gel. That's what I'll give you that part.
Yeah.
You can put a good bunch of stars on one team.
Yeah.
But they have to gel.
But I'm talking about a franchise that's starting their team with through the draft through the farm system, and I guess the Marlins are an exception. They bought all those players, and they won a World Series. Okay. But I'm talking about people who are expecting their teams to win right away. In baseball, it takes a while to get good, and there's exceptions. Okay, the Marlins. But then in football, it could happen within 1 or 2 years. In basketball, it could happen. You could look what happened to the Heat when we got LeBron James.
Automatic.
Yeah, automatic.
They just rose to the top.
Right.
Cleveland.
Exactly, Cleveland. Now in football, it takes time. I would say football and baseball, it takes time. Basketball, it could happen overnight. You know, in football, you need certain players on both sides of the ball. In baseball, it takes a long time, man. So, I think just people need to chill out, man, because especially the Dolphins, we had local guys that on the radio here killing Tannehill, saying he's the worst quarterback in the league, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When this guy was not even a quarterback when he was in college, he was a wide receiver. So that took time for him for adjustment to become from a wide receiver to a quarterback. You know, he was on a team with no weapons. You know, and now, like I said earlier, Hickey, Tannenbaum are getting the key parts of the puzzle. He's trying to put them together, so finally he could have weapons that he could use. So let's just hope and wait for the Dolphins, especially this year. I think this year should be a measuring stick for Philbin. He has the players. Let's see what he could do with them.
Yeah, I think because in the last couple of years, it should have been a measuring stick for him.
Yeah,
but the players weren't really there.
Yeah,
and that was Ireland's fault.
Yeah,
that was Ireland's fault.
Yeah,
so you know, I'm not. We could pin certain decisions during the season that maybe they could have gone to a playoff game or done something.
Yeah,
but this year, the general manager, president, owner, all behind him in what he's trying to do. Now he has to put up or shut up.
I applaud Stephen Ross. He's doing all he can. He's renovating the stadium. There's no more excuses that it's too hot out there. You know, it's gonna be a modern stadium. Can't wait to go see a game there. He's getting the players. He's got the two guys that I believe that they're really good at what they do, Dennis Hickey and Mike Tannenbaum. So let's just. I think it's starting this year is when we start really judging the Dolphins, and you know, those who love the Dolphins, just be patient. Be patient. It doesn't happen overnight. All right, let's get back to Pedro Martinez before we run out of time here, to his speech, because it was an emotional speech, and especially those who are Dominican or those who are Latin American will enjoy this. So here it is.
I'm running to numbers and games that I pitch. I just want to make sure that my people get a little message across from me and see me as a sign of hope for a future generation. I'm going to have to switch a little bit to Spanish because I would like these people to really feel what I feel today and what I mean to say. Muchas gracias a todos. En nombre de la República Dominicana, de Dios, en nombre del béisbol, yo quiero darle las gracias a todos por el apoyo, por siempre estar aquí conmigo, por siempre amarme de la forma que me han amado y respetado a nuestros familiares. Yo me siento hoy más que orgulloso y comprometido con todos ustedes. Me siento muy agradecido con Dios por darme la oportunidad de representarlos con dignidad. Pero no quiero hacer esto a nombre mío, ni quiero que me vean a mí como la persona que consiguió los trofeos individuales. Yo quiero que todo dominicano que está aquí, todo latino que esté aquí, que vea que nosotros estamos preparando un espacio para los que han de venir en una futura generación. Nosotros, los dominicanos, no hemos tenido este chance muy a menudo. Este es el chance para nosotros dar gracias a Dios por lo que tenemos, por lo que seremos, por lo que conseguiremos. Este es el momento. Yo quiero servir a todos ustedes simplemente como una muestra de esperanza, de fe, de determinación. Alguien que luchó por enseñar los valores que eso nos inculcaron en nuestras familias a temprana edad. Una persona que se siente digna de ser dominicana, que se siente orgulloso de su país y su gente. Gracias, muchas gracias.
Those who were watching this speech live, and you could catch it on MLB.com, there was thousands, well, I wouldn't say thousands, but I would say more than 500 Dominican fans out there. And he mentioned during the speech that he had over 100 family members, ex-players and stuff like that, come to the ceremony. And when you catch it on, when you watch the speech again, on watching the actual speech, you see the Dominican flags everywhere. There was tons of fans out there.
Yeah.
At this.
At the end, he had Marischal come up with him and hold the flag. We have to have a picture up now behind you.
Right. I'm gonna come up. That's coming up right now.
Great.
Let's get back to it. That sounds like when the Heat won the championship and the people in Hialeah were cheering.
Pots and pans. I heard a pot and a pan in there. I heard a pot and a pan in there popping away. Pop, pop.
All right, let's get back to the speech. Sorry about that.
Quiero decirles a todos que Dios tiene maneras muy exclusivas de hacer las cosas. Yo no sé si ustedes recordarán que en enero 6 mi llamada llegó y fue para decirme que yo había entrado al Salón de la Fama en primera vuelta. Quiero que me escuchen bien porque Dios tiene maneras únicas de trabajar con nosotros. Ese día era el Día de los Niños. Día de Reyes. Yes, el Día de los Niños. King's Day. Today, hoy, es el Día de los Padres en la República Dominicana.
Yes.
Y quiero aprovechar este momento para que todos ustedes disfruten conmigo de este Día de los Padres, disfruten de este momento como un regalo más que Dios le ofrece y que me usa a mí como puente para traerle a todos ustedes, a todos los padres de República Dominicana, y quiero dedicárselo al mío en especial también, a todos los padres de República Dominicana que hoy celebran ese día y lo respetan. Quiero que hoy se sientan que esto es parte de ellos. Se lo dedico.
Happy Father's Day, LC.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me fast forward here to Juan Marichal here. Let's see if I can do it.
Yo quiero que ustedes de aquí en adelante lograr que ustedes lo vean en mí.
Here we go.
El legado que don Juan Marichal nos dejó a nosotros. Yo no sabía que lo iba a alcanzar, pero yo lo alcancé. Espero que lo que don Juan Marichal y yo en este día le estamos compartiendo a ustedes, que ustedes también puedan lograrlo otro día. Vladimir Guerrero, yo sé que está por ahí. En 2 años te vemos aquí. Yo quiero sin más nada, como quien dice, despedirme de todos ustedes. Y quiero que siempre que vean esta placa o alguien se pase por Cooperstown, vean la señal de esperanza que Dios nos dio. Quiero que vean agradecimiento, quiero que vean todo el amor del mundo que Dios depositó en nosotros. ¿De dónde me trajo Dios para que yo llegara hasta aquí? Mamá, en el Día de los Padres, quiero reconocerte, quiero reconocer a todas las madres que están aquí porque ellas son el futuro de nosotros, son las que extienden la generación de nosotros y el legado. Quiero darle las gracias a todos, quiero darle las gracias a mi país, quiero darle las gracias a Estados Unidos, a la embajada americana que se fajó con nosotros para que todos estuviéramos aquí. Yo tengo que ahora, como quien dice, explicarle a esta gente lo que yo acabo de decir, pero lo voy a resumir muy cortito. I'm a Dominican because today is Father's Day in the Dominican Republic. And the day I got the call to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, it was January 6th, which is King's Day. And God has funny ways to do things. The day I was called to be inducted into the Hall of Fame was King's Day, was the Kids' Day. And the day I'm being inducted is Father's Day in the Dominican. So to all the fathers in the Dominican Republic, feel like this is your gift today. I thank you all for your patience. I would like to do something that will probably break the protocol, but I would like to give my people an opportunity that we don't get very often, and we have to wait 32 years for us to do. So I would like to invite Mr. Juan Marichal to come forward and finally give the Dominican Republic a gift that they waited 32 years to get. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Thank you for having us. Que Dios los bendiga a todos. Esta es una oportunidad que le brinda la República Dominicana.
There it is, the great Pedro Martinez, inducted to the Hall of Fame yesterday with his peers, Randy Johnson, Craig Biggio, Pedro Martinez, Johnny Schmaltz, Craig Biggio, and Randy Johnson were inducted to the Hall of Fame yesterday. Randy Johnson, again, the 20-game winner in 1997, 4 Cy Young Award winner, 303 wins. Craig Biggio played for the Houston Astros for 20 years, which is unheard of nowadays, LC. Unheard of.
One team.
One team, yep. Played 4 different positions, hit 3,000 hits, 600 doubles, 400 stolen bases, and over 150 home runs. Johnny Schmaltz, the only pitcher to win more than 200 games and also save 150 games. So these guys are worthy to be inducted into this awesome Hall of Fame, those who love the game of baseball. So a round of applause to those guys. Well, getting back to baseball, A-Rod hit 3 homers on Saturday, LC. 3 homers on Saturday. They were losing 5-0, and A-Rod hits 3 homers. They end up winning the game 8-5. Is A-Rod an MVP candidate, in your opinion? I'm going to look up his stats while you collect your thoughts here.
Man, that's a tough one. Based on his gameplay, his age, and what he's doing.
He's 40 years old. He turned 40 yesterday. It was his birthday.
That's what I'm saying. And, and what he's doing to help his team win, he's a candidate.
Yeah.
He's a candidate. I mean, who else is a candidate? I mean, at the moment, I don't know who's
Pujols in the American League. Yeah. Pujols he's having a tremendous year.
I got to see wins and losses of the teams. I'm going to gauge it on something like that.
Well, the Angels are in first place. They're 55-43. And the Yankees are in first place. They're 55-42, almost identical records. So those are 2 guys. Let's look. I'm trying to look up A-Rod. Can you look up A-Rod's stats if you get a chance? Because he didn't play. They didn't play him yesterday. Unbelievable. After he had 3 home runs, he didn't play yesterday.
Oh, why? Well, what else do you want him to do?
American League. Miguel Cabrera still leading the American League in batting average, 350. But I know A-Rod's up there in homers. He has, let's see, I see it right here. He has 23 home runs for the New York Yankees. And again, that's a good point. You base it on what position in the standings they're in.
Yeah, because you can have a great player on a bad team.
Yeah.
What MVP of what?
Yeah.
He's an MVP of what? Of what? Of a bad team? He just did really good.
But some players do get the MVP playing on a bad team. I remember Andre Dawson. Yeah, you don't agree with it. Andre Dawson got an MVP, and the Cubs were pretty bad.
And I'm not saying that you have to win. You have to win the championship that year because it's given out before that. Right. It's for the regular season. Mm-hmm. So to me, I don't know. MVP should always be given to a player who played good enough and helped carry his team, to a winning record.
Yeah.
Not a 500 record. An actual winning title record.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. To me, it's ridiculous to give it to somebody who's on a bad team.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, he got it because he was on a bad. No, come on, man. That's just not even right.
Usually in the NBA, they give it to somebody that's in the playoffs, and it could be a player having a sensational year, and not even make the playoffs, and not even give it to them. Give it to somebody that made the playoffs.
Well, in NBA, most of those teams make it to the playoffs. If you're you know, even if you don't win, the division,
yeah,
you're still in the playoffs. Some
right.
teams. So, but for me, I think winning a division should be a criteria for having an MVP.
Mike Trout's his name is being up. They're saying he's the best player in all of baseball.
Yeah, right now.
Mike Trout. I would say Mike Trout's probably the best player in the American League, and Bryce Harper is the best player in the National League.
In the National League?
Yeah. But I think A-Rod, he's helping the team. The team's in first place, I'll see. He's helping the team.
And you know what? At the beginning of the year, I know Yankee fans, they didn't expect this.
No, they didn't.
They did not expect the team to be in first place.
Yeah.
A-Rod to playing this well.
Yeah.
You know. So this is a good thing. If you're a Yankee fan, you're having a great time. I mean, the winning doesn't stop.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people were not expecting the Yankees to be in first place.
Because you lost Jeter.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't have
the pitching's not even that good. It's getting better. CC Sabathia is not that good. Tanaka's getting better. So they got a good closer, and let's see what happens with the Yankees. I think let's see, Toronto's 6.5 games back. Baltimore 7 and Tampa Bay 7.5. Boston's way down, 12.5. So let's see, there's less than 80 games left, I think, in the season. I think the Yankees could. It'll be a surprise if they win that division because everybody counted them out. Everybody counted them out. Kansas City's in first place, and they get Johnny Cueto to join their pitching rotation. They're 59-38, 7.5 games in front of the Minnesota Twins. And in the West, the Los Angeles Angels, are in first place by 1 game over the Houston Astros, who they picked up Steve Kazmir from the Oakland A's last week in a trade. So the Astros are trying to make some moves here. They're trying to see if they can win that division over the Los Angeles Angels. In the National League, the Marlins again are 12 games back. The Washington Nationals, who are coming to town tomorrow, are 52-45 in first place, and LC's New York Mets, the Red Hot Mets, they won 2 in a row, man. They're 51-48.
Yeah.
The New York Mets. Great pitching.
But you see, I'm watching those games, and I feel like they're losing.
Why? Because of the hitting?
Because of the hitting, nothing's happening. They're not hitting the ball.
Yeah.
I watch those games, and I'm like, yeah, we have the pitcher. Yeah, we have the. But where's the hitting? Come on. I know the Mets traded, and they have Uribe and Kelly Johnson.
Yeah.
From the Braves come up, and David Wright should be coming up.
David Wright, yeah.
Should be coming up very soon.
Yeah.
I think less than a week he should be up again playing, but they need hitting on that team. Kadyr's out for a while, still waiting for for him to come back.
Yeah.
Where's the hitting coming from?
Curtis Granderson should be. I think he had great years with the Tigers and with the Yankees, and then he comes to the Mets, and
nothing's. I mean, the numbers are there, but the thing is that you on a team like that's not hitting, you want more from him.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much more you can, if he's that kind of a player.
Check this out. Granderson's hitting 251. Tejada is 257. Murphy's 272. Johnson's 275. Duda 236. Duda's supposed to be the power hitter of the team.
Look at that lineup. Look at that. It's horrible the average of that team.
Duda is batting 236, man.
What is that on another team? Where is he batting? He's batting 7th or something.
Yep. Klawecki, the catcher's at 232.
It's pathetic.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I watch those games and I'm like,
that's not going to hold up.
I don't feel like they're winning. I feel like I'm watching a losing team.
They're just not exciting. Right? They're just great pitching. Nobody's hitting the baseball, man. But they're only 2 games behind the Nationals, man. Give them a shot. Maybe they can pick up another hitter before the trading deadline's over.
I hope so.
The Cardinals are 63-35 in the Central Division over the Pittsburgh Pirates by 6 games, and my Cubbies are dropping like flies. They get swept at home against the worst team in the league, the Philadelphia Phillies. And I was hearing Chicago radio the other day. They're not hitting the ball. They're not hitting exactly what the Mets are not doing. They're not hitting. They got good pitching, not better than the Mets, but their pitching is decent. The only guy that's hitting is Rizzo. So Addison Russell, he started out hot. He's terrible. So the Cubs need to wake up because there's other teams like the San Francisco 49ers that are right behind them for that wild card. Remember, there's 2 wild card teams get in, the 3 division winners and then 2 wild card. There's 2 wild cards, so Cubs better wake up. Let's see, the Los Angeles Dodgers are in first place by 1 game over the Giants, the Red Hot Giants. They won 5 in a row. The Dodgers are 56-44, and the 49ers are 54-44, with San Diego 8.5 games back, who are coming to town on Friday here in Miami. All right.
So what do the Marlins have this week coming up?
They got the Nationals tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then they got the Padres Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay, and then?
I'm not sure after that.
Oh, are the Mets coming soon? Because I want to go to a game.
Are they coming back again? They have to come back.
Yeah, they have to come back.
Let's go together this time. Let's not,
Oh, well, we were together, but we weren't. we
were in the stadium, but we weren't together.
Yeah, let me say the right way. We were in the stadium.
Let's be clear. Let's sit together. Let's get some hot dogs. Let's get some drinks. And have really good seats, because we can, now that nobody goes, we could get really close to the field.
And I think we're actually sitting all the way across from each other, because I remember that day you were by home plate.
Yep.
I was in center field out there by the bar.
By the Budweiser bar?
Yeah, I was like I was in there with a few friends of mine, other friends that we met up over there. we met up over there, and then I was supposed to meet you up, but I couldn't get a hold of you through text and through everything, and then I'm across the Budweiser bar. I'm like, man, and I bought the tickets I had were a gift from someone.
Yeah.
So my seats were supposed to be high up there.
Why don't you mention her name, Marjorie?
Yeah, Marjorie. So my seats were supposed to be high up there, all the way up there.
The great Marjorie.
Yeah. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna go all the way up there. So I stayed in the lower level,
right,
by the bow tie,
right,
by the Budweiser bow tie there. And then I made my way down the little stairs, and I was directly behind center field, above the Clevelander.
Nice.
And I had some. It was nice sitting there.
Every seat in the house is nice out there.
Yeah, it is. That's true about that place. And it felt good. I was watching the game from there. So and you were at home plate, so we were directly opposite each other in the same stadium.
Yeah, if you go to the game, you could, like, for example, you could go to your seat and sit there for a couple minutes, and then get up and walk. Go to the Budweiser area and just see the game from up there.
And I love it that how you have that view now all the way around. You could be in the concession stand buying stuff, and you could still catch the action going on.
The food is great out there. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Marlins Park. I wish
empanadas even they have.
Oh, man, they got all kinds. Cuban sandwiches, everything out there. I wish we just had a better product on the field, man. But it'll get there. It'll get there.
It'll get there.
Be patient. Look what Philbin said about the Dolphins. Keep the faith.
Keep the faith, the fish fans.
All right, when we come back, we'll talk some golf. And then we'll also talk what happened to Colin Cowherd. He got fired from ESPN. We'll talk a little bit about that. We'll get LC's opinion on that. He said he has he has his own opinion on this, and he's going to let us know when we come back. And we'll also talk about some other things. So we're on 247miami.tv. We're on YouTube. We're on TuneIn. We're everywhere. Everywhere. Just catch us. The John Ech Show. Right here on 247miami.tv.
Yeah, folks, you're here listening to the John Ech Show on 24/7 Miami Radio. On YouTube, folks, you can see John right there, sitting right there, getting ready for the next segment coming up. But right now, let me take this opportunity to mention about the different shows that we have on 24/7 Miami Radio. Now, I first started off with Monday. I started with Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, and now Wednesday. Wednesday has the Roy O Show. Roy O, with his cast of merry men and women, Amy, they come into the studio. They talk about all different topics going on in the world of sports and news, mostly sports. They have this segment that's also produced by Octavio, who also works on a big old radio station here in South Florida. I'm not gonna say the name, so I did take it. And he helps produce that show there for them. And he also has a segment called Sports Take. It used to be called Jock Talk, but now it's called Sports Take. Everybody has a sports take. But yeah, so now it's called Sports Take, that segment. And they talk about everything happening about the local teams, the Heat, the Marlins, the Panthers, the Canes. They go into all that for a few segments of their show. But then they also have the trivia section. It's a game that Roy brings in different audio from different movies, from different TV shows. He gets the audio, he plays it, and then the rest of the guys have to figure out what it is. They even had one segment one time where he had his daughter, his 3-year-old daughter, say names or say certain phrases, and then the other guys had to guess what it was. It was hilarious. You had to catch that. That stuff was a very funny moment trying to hear a little girl say, go get me water. And it was one of those moments on the Roy O Show, which is live on Wednesdays here on 24/7 Miami Radio. They go from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock live, so you can always catch that there. Soon we're going to have the YouTube camera set up in there for them, so you folks on YouTube can also watch that show. We used to have it before. We're going to bring it back again. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we're going to have that going on here on 24/7 Miami Radio, and that's on Wednesdays. Now, let me jump over to Thursday. Thursday we have a new show called Calor y Sabor with Diana Carolina. So she has a show there, and she plays in Spanish music. She plays different music, talks about news. She does a top 10 list on her show, and on that show, she recently had an episode where she was talking about Joan Sebastian, who recently passed away, and she had a whole show dedicated to him, to his music. So that's a show you can catch here on 24/7 Miami on Thursdays at 7 o'clock. Now at 8 o'clock, Diana's show is at 6 o'clock. Oops, before she gets me. So you can catch also at 8 o'clock The Authority. That's Officer McGruff, we call him. It's not really his name, but he talks about different perspective on the police side of how they view things. An active police officer, and he talks about all different topics from relating to the police point of view, but not only police stuff. I mean, he also has about managing your money. He has also different topics on a First Amendment and all those different type of topics. So you can catch that always here on 24/7 Miami Radio. But coming up soon, coming up right now, still enjoying another great half hour of the John Ech Show here on 24/7 Miami Radio. Here is the man himself, John Ech.
All right, the last segment of the show. Thanks, LC, for that awesome introduction.
And now the man of the hour. Okay, I could have done that voice, right?
I think you need to start writing down the. Let me write down the shows and what time they come on.
I know what times they go on.
You're freestyling from the top of the dome, man.
Oh yeah, I mean I live and breathe it 24/7.
Freestyle from the top of the dome. LC. All right. Like I said, last segment of the show. Thanks for logging on and tuning in to 247miami.tv. Catch us on YouTube. Tune in, and also on. We were doing Periscope, but no more Periscope, right? For us, I like YouTube better. To be honest with you.
You do?
Yeah, I like it better.
Yeah, I still have issues with Periscope.
So you said you can't do it diagonally. Like for example, when I was following the Dirty Laundry Periscope, like I said, the majority of the picture was on Marjorie, and like half of it was on Angie. So
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Because and that one,
if you could put everybody together in one shot, it'd be awesome.
I'd have to put the thing horizontal, but then they can't read all the comments on the side there.
Yeah.
So I tell everybody, whenever I set up the Periscope, it's another person in the room. Yeah. Because people write all the craziest things in there. Like,
yeah.
I've been watching some shows where one of them, all people write is open boobs. Open boobs. So somebody quickly made a T-shirt for her that said open boobs.
Come on.
And it was funny because she was wearing it in one of her Periscopes.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Like, I want to make a shirt that says something like that. Because everybody, I don't know why they go in there, and all they ask, open boobs, open boobs, open boobs. Come on, guys. Grow up a little bit.
Wow. All right, before we get to Colin Cowherd's comments that he made on his show last week, and he did get fired for that. He was going to resign, or they let him, or ESPN let him go. There was a mutual agreement that they were going to.
Oh, yeah. No, his contract was up.
Yeah.
And, he decided to go with another network.
Right, but he got fired before his contract was done.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we'll get to that before I give you an update what went on in the world of golf at the Canadian Open. Jason Day, after he was top 10 in the British Open 2 weeks ago, he birdied the last 3 holes to win out in Canada. In the seniors, Marco Dawson wins the Senior British Open in Sunningdale, England. And our very own Coral Springs, South Florida, down here, Alexis Thompson wins on the LPGA Tour. She's only 20 years old. She's already won 4 times on the LPGA Tour. Before we move on, let's see what else I got. Oh, I want to mention this. This is a very sad story that happened. Those who live down here in the 305, I met this man. His name is Robert Parker. He's an ex-police officer. He was an ex-police director of the Miami Police Department. They found him outside in his backyard, dead. They didn't rule it a suicide right away, but when they did all the autopsies and all that stuff, they did rule it that he did commit suicide. And nobody, according to the article, according to people who knew him, had no idea why he did this. There was no sign. There was no, usually when people commit suicide, they usually leave a note, right?
Yeah.
There was none of that.
So wait, so I'm wondering if that was really a suicide or not.
Well, they ruled it a suicide because his gun was right next to him, and it was shot to the dome. Doesn't mean
he did it.
Yeah, I know, but there was no other evidence that somebody came and did it. It was unfortunately, it's a sad story.
Yeah.
He became the first African American to lead the Miami-Dade Police Department here in the 305. A lot of people that worked with him, his ex-partners, they were saying that this guy was so smart. He graduated from Barry University. They were saying that this guy could have been the next mayor of our city. That's how smart. That's how good of a police officer he was. They called him the Marathon Man, was his nickname, because he was so good at catching the bad guys, And 33 years he served our city here, and unfortunately it ends in looks like it ended in a suicide. Nobody knows what happened. So condolences thoughts and prayers to his family. He had two sons and a wife that he leaves behind. So Robert Parker was his name. Bobby Parker, there he is, right there. And I did meet him at the country club, and he was brought over to play golf with another member, and I got to know him and shook hands, and looked like a decent man, well spoken. You could tell he was a police officer. He used to be, because I wouldn't say all police officers are in good shape, because you do see some police officers that are Dunkin' Donuts sometimes.
What? We're talking about donuts.
Oh, we gotta go. I got this guy. You get a call on the radio. They gotta go. We're eating donuts. Whatever. But again, thoughts and prayers, condolences to Robert Parker's family, who served our city, our great city of Miami, for 33 years as a police officer and also as the director, the first African American director to lead the Miami-Dade Police Department. I want to mention that because I think I like to bring out news that has to do with our great city that we live in. So that happened. I want to continue to another story. The University of Miami, reveals their new uniforms at Club Live a couple weeks ago. Were you there, LC? Did you have your cameras out there?
No, I didn't have a chance.
They didn't invite you?
I didn't get invites in the mail, I think.
Now, if you pull that up, that'll be pretty cool. Let's see if we get.
For YouTube fans.
There you go. University of Miami reveals their new uniforms at Club Live. Al Golden came out saying that this is a new team, even though Vegas has the University of Miami total wins 5.5. They're predicting the University of Miami to win 5 games this year. That's how bad they see the University of Miami. But Golden came out saying that this is a new team. They set a lot of goals for the team. Players are being held accountable. There's no more. A couple of players came out in the press saying that last year's team they weren't playing together. There was a lot of disputes.
Is this a new uniform?
It's by Adidas.
Which one is it? Are these?
It has to be it has to be those, I think. There's a Club Live right there. That's the club right there, yeah. Yeah, those are it. I gotta look at them a little more. I'm old school, man. I like the old uniforms. Those are not bad. You like them?
Okay.
The one on the left looks sort of like the Dolphins. Sort of like the NFL uniforms.
Yeah.
The Dolphins with the little letters and not big letters.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to Al Golden, players are being held accountable. There's they're getting together and they're saying this is a better team, even though the offensive line is a little shaky. And we'll see what happens with the University of Miami. Like again, I'm not in football mode yet, but I'm getting there. Remember the theme of the show is what?
NFL.
No. Give me the title. Football is right around the corner. That is the theme of today's show. And the Deflategate commissioner hasn't come out why he's stalling. People are saying he's stalling. What's the deal? Give Brady what he deserves. Is it 2 games? Is it 4 games? Is it no games? I heard some people saying he's not going to be suspended at all. Well, we'll find out. You been watching any of the Pan American games,
No, I haven't.
No. I heard the Americans did pretty well. I think they had on Sunday's paper they had more gold medals than anybody.
Yeah, but the U.S. basketball team, what was happening there?
I have no idea.
They lost.
They lost?
Yeah.
Against who?
They lost against Brazil. They lost against was it Brazil?
These are college players.
Yeah. I don't know. Not very happy with that.
Wow. All right, let's get to Colin Cowherd. Before we get to his comments, this is a guy that I really looked up to in the broadcasting business. This is a guy that I listen to. This guy. If you want to say, I hate saying it religiously because that's just a cliche. I used to listen to this guy. I used to listen to this guy every single day, and he's one of the guys I look up to because he's great. He's great. He's entertaining. He knows his sports.
Yeah, I like this show. I would listen to his show.
Yeah.
All the time. I mean, when I had a chance, I would listen to his show. But after those statements, come on.
But a couple weeks ago, before he said these comments about the Dominican people, he had Jim Harbaugh on his show, and Jim Harbaugh. If you know Jim Harbaugh, he's a tough guy to talk to. He rarely does interviews. He doesn't like the press. He doesn't like the media, and he's a hard-nosed guy. So he came on the show, and Colin Cowherd came out kind of, I want to say aggressive, but came out at a way where he wasn't used to doing an interview this way. Colin Cowherd doesn't even introduce his name. Well, okay, now we have, like if I have a guest on the show, I would say, okay, now we have Louis Chacon from 247miami.tv joining the show. Thanks for coming on. Something like that. But it was just straight into the interview. So Jim Harbaugh goes, you're not going to even introduce me, or you're not going to say, or you're not going to even greet me, and hey, how you doing, Colin? And right from the start, the interview went straight down the tubes.
Oh, really?
So listen, see if you agree with me here, LC. If that happens to me, I would have to, like, if I'm giving the interview and I start that way, which I think Lebertard starts that way too. He doesn't introduce the guest; he just goes straight into the interview. That's like sort of a new thing that people are doing nowadays. If I see that Harbaugh's not adjusting to the way I'm interviewing you, I have to adjust to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Have some respect for him. He's on my show. He's taking some time off to be on my show to entertain my following, my fans who listen to my show. But he didn't do that. He kept on like asking these questions where Jim Harbaugh didn't want to answer. They were kind of, I wouldn't say stupid questions, but they were kind of touchy questions. And then at the finally, Colin Cowherd told Harbaugh, he said, "I don't want to. It's not, coach. It's not. Interview is not working. We're just gonna have to stop." And he cut him off.
Wow, just like that.
Just like that. Okay, so that went on through social media. Everybody found out about it, whatever. Now, what happened last week where he gets fired, and we all, like you were saying, LC, I guess it was the ESPN and Colin, they had mutual agreements about departing, or his contract was up. What was the...
Well, his contract, he was in contract negotiations, and Fox offered him a better deal, and he went with the Fox deal. He came back. I actually heard that show. When he came back, he's like, yeah. I was like, wow, this is amazing.
But he didn't mention Fox. He said he didn't want to mention the other
No, he didn't say
competition.
Fox. He said you can watch it. You can follow me on my Twitter, and you can read about it.
Right.
But he was very grateful and thankful that ESPN gave him a chance to come back, because normally in normal situations you don't come back. You don't come back after something like that has been let out, and then you're going somewhere else. They do not give you access in the business to get back on that microphone.
Right.
Because you could do whatever you want. It's what is it? It's a blank check.
Yeah.
You're being given there.
Mm-hmm.
So normally these guys get cut off. Like, yeah, they go, okay, you're out, you're fired, you're released, whatever, you're gone. That way, as a network, you never hear from them again until they appear somewhere else on another radio station. Which, if you check a lot of sports radio history, that happens a lot. Guys jump from different stations.
Right.
So, but he came back and said, "Oh, I'm very grateful for ESPN letting me do this. This is not normal how it's done, but I'm very grateful." And he was very respectful. And I was like, "Wow, this is interesting. To see how long this will be." And he's like, "Yeah, I'll be on for about 2 weeks or so. Next one, that show will be on Friday, 2 weeks, Fridays from now. Yada yada yada." And I was like, wow, interesting. And then he goes, "Oh, let's get back to the show."
Yeah.
But he opened up with that, so you felt like, okay, good. This guy's trying. This guy's, he's being given a chance, and he's gonna hopefully play nice and work out his deal when he leaves in 2 weeks. And that's it.
Yeah.
And then
this happens. That's
so.
By the way, it's not like Bill Simmons. I mean, he's slightly altering his format. He's not becoming a brain surgeon. He's not. It's not the difference between writing, producing, TV, and radio. I mean, I've proven it by writing a book, and I'm not a writer. Okay, so you're just altering things a little. It's still communication.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyway, I just spent 5 minutes on. I mean, the Marlins put a general manager in their dugout. People freaked out. Like, whoa! It's baseball. You don't think a general manager can manage? Like, it's impossible? The game is too complex? Like, I've never bought into that baseball's just too complex. Really? A third of the sport is from the Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic is...
First of all, he was wrong when he said, well, in my opinion, that baseball is not a complex sport. He's saying baseball is like anybody could play it.
Come on.
In decision makings too, you know what I'm saying?
There's so many things happen in the game.
So he's saying like for example, managers, anybody can manage a team. He said Dan Jennings everybody was upset that Dan Jennings became the manager of the Marlins coming from the front office.
And not having managed a team before or been on a major league team yet.
Okay, look what is Dan Jennings doing? He's made mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, but I'm saying there's no way
now one
you're gonna tell me that it's not complex. It could become complex in certain situations, but not say that the whole managerial position is not complex. Come on.
And there's managerial that goes on off the field before the game. That you're evaluating players constantly on who you can put on the field to your best manager to best get your team to win.
Good point.
So that's another thing too, and of course then you have in-game stuff that has going on.
Yeah.
If you have to know certain things on the batter, so you know how to put your players in what position, shift or not a shift, or whatever you have to do.
Of course.
So yeah, the game is.
There's a guy that he said he watches baseball when it comes to the playoffs and the World Series, but he doesn't watch it regularly throughout the year because he said that baseball, a lot of people don't watch baseball, which is true.
Well,
but if you're not I want to hear that baseball is not complex from a Peter Gammons, Tim Kirchin stuff. That's the name I wanted to say
earlier. Yes.
Yeah, but guys that know the game, Starks, those guys that Reynolds, those guys. I want to hear them say that. Not hear Colin Carr, who doesn't even watch baseball. So let's get back to what he was saying.
I've never bought into that baseball's just too complex. Really? A third of the sport is from the Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic has not been known in my lifetime as having, world-class academic abilities. I mean, a lot of those kids come from rough backgrounds. The Dominican Republic has not been known in my lifetime as having, world-class academic abilities. I mean, a lot of those kids come from rough backgrounds and have not had opportunities academically that other kids from other countries have.
What do you think about that? You being a Dominican, LC.
What is he talking about? Again, he just slammed something that he doesn't know anything about because he's not looking into what Dominican Republic is doing.
Yeah.
And every country has its own special academics. Every country has its own top this, top that. Everybody to just make a blank statement, it just sounds again like an ugly American.
He put all Dominicans in one boat.
Yeah.
And I agree when he said that there's certain people that come up in a rough situation, they come in rough backgrounds and stuff like that.
But here's one thing with Dominican Republic. I don't know if you know this about with Dominican players over there. They're not just playing in sandlots and a scout comes in and says, "You come in, play."
Yeah.
No. Those kids are sometimes put in there as as you know how we send kids away to boarding school.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the kids are put into those academies to learn and live baseball. They grow up living, breathing baseball, and they get their education, and they're also playing baseball like so many hours a day, and it's like and they're like academies for this stuff.
But it's like that now, but before it wasn't like that.
Well, no, before it wasn't like that. That's why it was very difficult for them to come up, because they had to try to get into the team over there, and then that's when a scout would see them on the team that's over there. But now you have academies over there where, you know, it's not like some scout is just walking down the street, you know, and going to little high school games or anything like that.
Yeah.
No, there's actual established academies to teach these kids to become baseball players.
I wish Pedro, when he was doing his speech, would have said, "Look at me, the herd. Look at me."
Well, I think that's what he did too. You know, by talking Spanish and then bringing Marisol up there with the flag. You know, it's kind of odd how this comments by Cowherd and how wrong it was and how big it was in the news.
Yeah.
It made Pedro's speech even much more significant.
Man. Exactly.
It's like, I know from 10 years from now, you know, we'll hear about Pedro's speech, but the significance of it with what happened now makes that speech even much more valuable.
Yeah.
People freaked out. You know, like, whoa, it's baseball. You don't think a general manager can manage? Like, it's impossible? The game is too complex? Like, I've never bought into that baseball is just too complex. Really? A third of the sport is from the Dominican Republic. The Dominican Republic has not been known in my lifetime as having, you know, world-class academic abilities. I mean, a lot of those kids come from rough backgrounds and have not had opportunities academically that other kids from other countries have. Baseball's like any sport. It's mostly instincts. A sports writer who covers baseball could go up to Tony La Russa and have a real baseball argument, and Tony would listen, and it would seem reasonable. There's not a single NFL writer in the country that could diagram a play for Bill Belichick. You know, we get caught up in this whole thinking man's game. You got a bit. Is it in the same family? Most people can do it.
He deserved to be fired, dude. That's just my opinion.
And like I mentioned earlier, he was playing with house money.
Yeah,
he knew he was leaving,
right?
So he could say whatever, because remember, that's a problem. That's a problem. Thing with ESPN that's happening is that ESPN, as being part of the Disney Corporation, is too sanitized, and you can't say certain things.
Right.
So he had the liberty to say something that would probably get away with Fox, but probably not get away at ESPN. That's what I think.
You think he could have gotten away with that in Fox?
I think he would have.
Wow. Okay.
How many times do you hear Fox firing somebody for making a comment? You don't.
You don't.
You don't hear about. You hear about it if someone was involved in a domestic abuse situation.
Yeah.
You know, or some criminal case is up.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't hear about it about anything in domestic abuse. You know, I mean, you don't hear anything about making a certain statement.
Yeah.
You know, a statement of apology comes back out later soon.
Yeah.
You know, following that, but you don't hear it. You don't hear it. Oh, Fox guy got fired for saying something.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what's different with the Disney environment.
Yeah, yeah.
That he was playing, I feel, with house money. He knew he was gone. He knew he could have said something wrong.
Yeah, but doesn't it ruin his image a little bit? Like leaving a place like ESPN and going somewhere where Fox is say, wait, you know, should we reconsider hiring this guy after these comments that he made, or no?
I don't think Fox worries about that kind of stuff.
Really?
Think about it.
Do you think a lot of people are going over to Fox now than ESPN? ESPN, I feel like ESPN is getting to what's already there, where it's just there's so many platforms on ESPN. There's so many shows going on throughout their network that they start hiring people that are like, man, are you serious? Like, for example, that Stephen A. and Bayless and Skip Bayless show, First Take, like they have, you know, certain, you know, pretty girl in the middle there.
Yeah.
Like, just like, I'm not saying she doesn't know anything about sports, but they have her there for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And then they have other ladies, and I'm not a male chauvinist pig, but I'm just saying it's coming to a place where there's so many shows that they need to hire people, and some of the people that are hiring are not qualified for these certain positions. I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't know if you agree with me in that, but ESPN is going down. I read an article. You know, they already lost Bill Simmons. They lost Keith Olbermann. They're losing him, and then now they lose Colin Cowherd. So that's three other main guys on that network. So let's see what happens to ESPN. I think ESPN's getting to a place where, and it's true what we were saying, you could get your sports news from your phone. You don't have to go to ESPN anymore.
Well, the thing is that when you go to your phone, you go into they want you to go to ESPN to get it.
Well, you could go to Bleacher Report. Is Bleacher Report part of ESPN?
No.
You could go to there. There's so many different platforms you could go to get your sporting news.
Your score updates and even news angles of different sports takes to it.
Right. So we'll see what happens with the Herd. I don't know if I'm going to listen to him anymore. But like I said, I lost a lot of respect for him, not only for the Dominican comment, but the way he was with Harbaugh. You know what Trump said didn't really upset me as much as what he said about Dominican. I guess my wife's Dominican, my kids are Dominican, and I have a lot of Dominican friends. You're Dominican, so that kind of hurt. And plus, I'm a baseball guy. That hurt me more than what Trump said, which is probably maybe that's the wrong thing to say, but I really got ticked off when I heard that about those comments that Colin Cowherd made, man.
I'm more scared about what Trump said than what Cowherd said.
Scared or ticked off? There's two different things.
No, okay, not scared, but one is trying to vie for a position of power.
Yeah.
And who can make and adjust certain laws.
Yeah.
And the other one's just a talk show host. That just is by himself.
Yeah.
Has about 2 or 3 hours to fill to talk by himself, which can be very dangerous in a mind.
Yeah.
But he has no power of passing any laws or anything like
that. I think
that.
the mixture of the Dominican, what he said and the love of the game of baseball, where he said baseball is not a complex game, that's what kind of like that mixture there kind of ticked me off a little bit. So that's that. All right, we got 2 minutes left in the show. Do we need to say anything that's important here, Elsie, before we get the hell out of here? Did we miss anything? You already updated everybody on the shows that are going on 24/7 Miami, right?
Yes.
You gave us the good news that we're gonna be at Jada Cole's live and direct soon. We'll give you guys the date as soon as Elsie.
Follow John Ech on Twitter. What's your Twitter?
John Ech Show on Twitter and also on Facebook. John Ech Show. All right. Good show there, guy. Thanks for producing. Thanks for being here with me. As always, we're a team, the dynamic duo.
Yeah, here we go.
You're Robin, I'm Batman.
All right, Batman.
Cave's co-host show.
Here we go.
Need to interview.
Oh, wait a minute. You know, soon we're gonna have our draft.
Oh, I forgot about that. You sent me an email. What is that? An invitation to the draft?
Yeah, invitation to the draft. That's where you sign up to the draft.
So what do I need to do? Go on there and
sign up. Set up your team name.
Okay.
And abbreviations for it, and then we'll get the notifications. We're gonna have a live draft on 24/7 Miami Radio. We're gonna have it here at the studios at CSB.
And we're gonna broadcast it live.
We're gonna broadcast the draft live.
Yes.
We did it last year, and it was fun because it was so. I know everyone's a personality on our hosts here on 24/7 Miami Radio.
Right.
And it was nice to see all the different hosts in one room.
Yeah.
Discussing and talking about different shows and different topics, and it was kind of like an Avengers, or like where you see all the different superheroes in the same room.
That's awesome.
To me, as executive producer and owner proprietor of 24/7 Miami Radio, it was pretty cool to see everybody that I know and I work with here in the same room, and then getting dirty. Like, not dirty as in like nasty dirty. I mean like talking dirt to the next guy because we have our picks.
Trash talking, I mean.
Sorry, that's the word. See, that dirty sounds like sexual, right?
Hey, so when is the draft?
The draft will be the calendar hasn't been set. The commissioner is Roy O. Roy O is the commissioner. It'll be the week before the season starts.
Okay.
That fourth week of the preseason on a Wednesday.
But we'll know when we're going to draft, right?
Yeah. We'll Roy will be setting all that up in the upcoming weeks.
Okay.
But it'll be in that last week when we all come into the studio. It'll be during the Roy O show. Will be the live broadcast of the draft.
We'll know ahead of time where we're drafting. What
our
spot.
Positions? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I got a buddy. He already knows what position he's in the draft. I'm like, already? Season starts for another 2 months.
Yeah, Roy's been working on that stuff, so he'll work out the kinks. He asked me to be commissioner. I said I do not want to be commissioner because I would cheat like crazy.
Come on, man.
I would cheat so badly that it would not be fair. So I said, you know what? Out of the best interest for everyone's to be fair, I'm gonna step back and let Roy.
There you go.
Be the commissioner.
All right, great job, LC. As always, I'm John Ech. Again, Facebook and Twitter is the John Ech Show. Follow the show. All right, thank you very much. Have a great week. Peace.